Today on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, we are going to be separating fact from fiction when it comes to these rock and roll urban legends. You heard about the mud shark, things like that? That's what we're getting into today. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, but you all can call me Loudini. I'm your host for this hour of madness, podcasting madness. And as I said at the top of the hour, we're going to be discussing rock urban legends. They're not just urban legends, but rock urban legends. And if you don't know what that is, stick around. We'll make it all clear. It'll all become clear to you in a second. Our website is LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. We are live. We are not live, but we are on Rock Rage Radio as well. You can go to rockrageradio.com and download the app, as well as listen to us on Classic 92.3. We are everywhere. We are growing. We are really excited about it. So shoot us a message. We are broadcasting live tonight. We do this show live every week from Rock Rage Radio Live on Facebook. So that's facebook.com/Rock Rage Radio Live. And just follow that and you want to follow that because if you are passionate about great guitar-driven rock like we are, then this is where everything's happening, guitar-driven rock. So you want to check it out. So LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, Rock Rage Radio. Thank you guys for hanging out. And sitting next to me are wonderful, talented, lovely, stunningly beautiful co-host in the pink shirt, our rock goddess of all things like rock history and rock encyclopedia, Miss Lily V6. Was that enough of an introduction?
Oh, hi. Get all the BS out of your mouth so we can start here.
The BS. My mouth was full of BS.
You had logorrhea there for a second, buddy.
I have diarrhea of the mouth.
I'm doing well. How's everyone?
I don't know. Did you tag our...
I did.
Regulars.
I tagged our peeps.
Yes, we want to give a shout out to Chris Thunderwolf Dodson, Billy Altman, John Fox, Josh Podrat, Jason Pinkney, Bill Damiano said he's recording his own show tonight, but he will try to check in with us a little bit later on. Good. So we do appreciate all that. Barb Herlejewski as well. Barb, you were sick this week. Well, I was worried about you. You said that you had passed out a couple of times, and that scared the poop out of me. So I want to make sure that you were all right. I got a message from you saying you were feeling better. But if you guys follow us on social media, these are like our regulars. These are the guys that we're always interacting with, and you can be part of that too. So check us out. We do appreciate it.
We do have a newbie listening tonight, Betty Nading. Welcome,
Betty Boop. You're now Betty Boop. So anyway, yeah, we this is a really cool family of people that are like growing in numbers and getting to know each other and having a lot of fun. And we have like an exclusive thing for you. We will talk about a little bit later on. We're talking about rock urban legends tonight. And if you're new to the show, before we get into the general topic, we always like to play a band. We always play rock music, hard rock, rock and roll, metal that you don't hear. Usually aren't going to hear anyplace else, or not very many other places. So that's our sort of claim to fame. And in keeping with that tradition, this is a band that we discovered a few weeks ago called Bad Marriage. It's a track called Diablo on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. Bad Marriage on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. We have been rocking out to Bad Marriage for a few weeks now, so we're really glad that we discovered those guys. I want to give you guys a way to discover Bad Marriage, to dig a little deeper into their music, to hear more of their stuff, and you can go to their website, which is Bad Marriage Music. I just love that. BadMarriageMusic.com. Check them all out. They are just a great band, I believe, from the Boston area. Bad Marriage Music. Check them out. Guys, rock urban legends. What are some of your favorite ones? And we're going to be talking about some of the famous ones that are out there. Legends surrounding songs, legends surrounding artists and bands and things like that. So, Lily is our resident rock historian. Lily, how are you today? You good?
I'm good.
You're good?
A little sweaty.
A little sweaty. Sweaty.
But I'm okay with it. At least it's not snowing.
Aw. You prefer sweat to snow?
Sure do.
Not me. I prefer snow to
God,
sweat.
you're such a guy.
I know. Well, there's only so many clothes you can take off, you know? Whereas when it's cold, you can always put another layer on. You're going to turn the heat up.
But once I'm cold, I'm cold. I can't get warm.
Really?
I can
don't have
cool
that
off
problem.
easy.
I see. I don't cool off easy.
God.
Not at all.
All guys are the same.
I know. Hot. I'm feeling hot. Okay.
Anyway.
So let's jump into this thing. What do you got on your list of rock urban legends?
So I don't have... On my list, I did not put the Mud Shark one. And I also did not put the Rod Stewart one because you mentioned them in the description. And I'm sure everybody knows about those. I do have some famous ones on there. But
sure, that's totally fine.
the one that I have that maybe not too many people know about is Stevie Nicks and the butt cocaine.
Butt cocaine. Stevie
Yes.
Nicks. Now, wait a minute. Okay. No, I would just go ahead and describe it.
Okay.
What is the urban legend?
So Stevie Nicks, as everyone knows, was the singer for Fleetwood Mac, also does solo stuff. She did so much cocaine that she damaged her nose, and then it was rumored that she hired somebody to administer the narcotic into her rectally, either by enema, suppository, or blowing it through a straw. Now, she really did injure her nose. There is truth to that. So by doing that, she burned a hole in the septum from doing too much cocaine, which is something you can absolutely do. You could burn out the whole thing. It's about she said it's about the size of a dime. However, she said she has never taken it up the butt as far as cocaine goes.
Oh.
I don't know about all that other stuff. Probably. But cocaine was not in her butthole.
So I don't know how you guys feel about that, if you're happy about it or not, if you're relieved that Stevie Nicks' butthole is virginal when it comes to cocaine, at least.
Yes. At least, the very least cocaine.
You know, I was worried about that's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night. I go like,
I knew it was.
Oh my God, has Stevie Nicks, no longer a butt cocaine virgin? But now, thank you so much. I feel so much better. I can go back to jerking off to her.
This, of course, was a media fabrication, as sometimes that happens.
What?
Yeah. That
The
silly
media makes stuff up? No.
That's silly media.
That doesn't ever happen. Come on. Only Donald Trump says that the media makes stuff up.
Fake
Now,
news.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next on your little list there? Your little list.
So the next one I have is Gene Simmons' cow tongue.
Oh, yeah. I was in elementary school when I heard this rumor, and we all believed it because he could take that tongue out. They could touch his nose.
It's like
Because
very lucky Shannon Tweed is.
And it looks unnatural.
It really does.
It does. I mean, if you see it, if you've ever seen it, if you know what we're talking about, just all you got to do is do a quick Google search, Gene Simmons tongue, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. It is crazy.
Don't know, if you're living under a rock, Gene Simmons is the bassist for Kiss.
Use the word bassist very loosely.
He has his, it's stated that he has his own tongue surgically replaced with the tongue of a cow to make it as long as it is for when he does his little tongue tricks on stage or whatever else he does with his tongue. But implanting an animal tongue into a human mouth that could be moved and mobilized and with normal precision is not possible.
No, and he wouldn't be singing.
That's not
right.
physically possible.
His tongue, if he did that, that tongue would always be like drooping out on one side.
And he'd be drooling a lot. It'd be like a bulldog.
Yeah, it would just not. No, it's it's completely. You believe it though when you're 10, and the guys at school are like, "Hey, did you hear about this guy in Kiss? He had his tongue replaced with a cow's tongue." Like, oh my God! And you're looking at the album, they look like monsters.
And everyone's like looking,
and everybody. And so you're a kid. You're like,
believe it.
oh my God! I also thought for many years that ketchup was actually turtle's blood.
Oh
because
my
my
gosh.
cousin told me that, who was like a couple years older than me, And then I found out later on it was
that you're a child and you know nothing.
No, I was just, and I was like, Maria, you're an asshole. She's like, you're an idiot. Better to be an asshole than an idiot. So that's a podcast. Is it better to be an asshole or an idiot? So that's next week's show. So what? so what do you got?
So I do have. I didn't put them in any order. This is just.
We're just having fun.
Yeah.
This is just we're just chilling and relaxing and having a few drinks. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Then,
and feel free to chime in with any comments or whatever. You want to talk about something. There's an urban legend you like. You want to talk about. Let us know. We'll bring it up. We Google it real quick for you guys. Go ahead, girl.
So the next one I have on here is Sgt. Pepper and McCartney's Death. Do you know that one? I'm sure you know that one.
Paul is dead.
In 1969, everybody was freaked out because they thought Paul McCartney actually died when he stormed out of a recording session for Sgt. Pepper and in anger crashed his car, and that he'd been quietly replaced with a lookalike so the band could keep going without losing the diehard Paul fans. And the Beatles didn't help with this because they made constant allusions to Paul's death in their albums, but it came not so subtly with the Sgt. Pepper album. There's a wreath on the album cover shaped like a bass in honor of the bass player. And apparently in Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon supposedly says at the end, "I buried Paul."
I buried Paul.
Yeah.
Or is he saying cranberry sauce?
Which is what he says he said. And
then the
other people think he said, "I'm very bored."
Then there is the cover
Of
to Abbey Road, where they're all dressed like different people from a funeral, and Paul is the one dressed as the corpse with no shoes
on.
And then there's the VW bug that's parked that says 28 if.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been 28 years old if he had lived.
Right.
And that was another thing that I got all caught up in as a kid. The Beatles were all long over, but I think it was a King Biscuit Flour Hour or one of those syndicated radio things had done this like all year long program called It Was 20 Years Ago Today, where they did a giant radio retro. The guys, before there were podcasts, before there was YouTube, before there was even cable TV, before there was rockumentaries like Behind the Music and stuff like that, King Biscuit Flour Hour would do these audio radio shows where they would give you like a radio documentary about bands, and they did this multi-part thing. They played it over and over and over on the radio in the early 80s, celebrating the 20 years of the Beatles. And that is how I got familiar with the Beatles. And me and my friends, we would listen to it. We'd come to school on Monday and say, "You listen to King Biscuit Flour?" Like, "Yeah." And you hear this, and you hear that, and you hear that. So we got all wrapped up in the Beatles things, and we loved that. And fast forward 30 years or so, Netflix puts this documentary on. Did you see it?
No, I haven't.
This is a Netflix documentary, supposedly narrated by George Harrison. The actor who does George Harrison's voice is dead on.
Is it spot on? Oh,
and
I gotta watch it.
Tells this very in-depth
he's my favorite
story of Paul's death and the replacement, and it is a conspiracy theorist's freaking wet dream. It is so good. And I wish I remember the name of it, guys. Maybe we can look it up during one of the songs, and we'll tell you guys about it. I'm sure it's on YouTube now, but he covers every detail and every question, every like contradiction you would try to. There's an answer for. It's just like a typical conspiracy
It's like a
theory.
maze.
Yeah, it's insane. But if you guys get to see it, it's absolutely crazy, and they go into all the little details. It's a lot of fun. Paul did not die.
Clearly, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
Isn't he touring?
He's still touring. Yeah, he's still. God bless him and Ringo.
I know, right?
I mean, that's like
they're still going.
They're keeping it going.
Later.
But anyway, so that was a really and the Beatles. This just goes to show how brilliant they were. They saw that and they
used it as a marketing thing.
I think it was partly that, but I think it started out just as fun.
Mm,
just as like
probably.
kind of like noodling around with it. Will anybody notice if we do this? And then when they started hearing the rumors, they thought, shit. Let's really roll with this because this is awesome. So, as great as musicians as they were and songwriters, they had that thing going as well. So, okay, so what do you got? What else do you have on the conspiracy list?
Real quick, I just want to relay that this is not music legends. This is music urban legends. I do have people listing their legends in rock. That's very cool. And we might talk about that on a future podcast. But we're doing urban legends right now, guys, not your favorite rock stars.
Urban legends, like stories about rock. Oh, really? We need to educate you guys.
Anyway, my next one is the song Heart-Shaped Box being about Courtney Love's vag. Now, basically,
wow, really?
Courtney heard this rumor and rolled with it.
Well, first of all, it sounds like a freaking like 14-year-old kid's joke. You know,
Yeah.
like 14-year-old boy's joke. Does not sound legit, but go ahead.
Anyway, Courtney Love heard this somewhere, and she rolled with it during an interview and said, "Yeah, of course that's about my vagina." And she also claimed that she wrote the lyrics to it after her poor, husband is dead. She's telling people this. The song was not about anything sexual. The song was actually about kids with cancer. So if kids with cancer turned you on, then maybe you need to rethink your life and smack yourself in the face.
Grody.
But according to Cobain, it was about the little kids with cancer, and it was the most saddest thing he could think of, and it has nothing to do with Courtney.
We're going to come right back. This is Transcendence, Never Back Down on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. Transcendence from Pittsburgh. Not to be confused with other transcendencies and transcendences or transcendences. Transcendi. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. You can go to transcendence412.bandcamp.com and get yourself some the Pittsburgh edition of Transcendence right there. I think that band kicks freaking ass. We're going to play, coming up next, I'm so excited. We're going to be playing Royal Honey. This band is so badass. Another band from Pittsburgh. We aren't a homegrown show, but we do end up playing some stuff from around here
because we're awesome.
Well, and the music around here is good. There's good heavy rock and metal in this area. Who'd have thunk it?
I know,
I remember,
right?
like in the '90s and stuff, when I was playing in bands, like I was always told that like the bands I was in, that I had were like too heavy. Like people don't want to hear that noise. It was all bands like the Clarks and Ike McCoy and Brownie Mary and these more middle of the road post grunge type bands. But it has morphed. We have a great scene here of heavy rock. So check it out. Great bands around here. Anyways, we're talking about the urban legends, not the legends of rock. Okay, this isn't like a countdown of like, Hendrix, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. No. This is like urban legends. These crazy stories that surround some of your favorite artists and some of your favorite songs that sometimes end up being true. And sometimes they're just shit that you goofballs out there made up because you smoked.
Because you're bored.
Yeah, you smoked a bunch of weed. And you're like, man, I think this song is about Courtney Love's vagina, man.
She wishes.
I'm going to write a song called Courtney Love's Vagina. Courtney Love's Vagina. Oh! Thanks. I'll be here all week. I love it. I'm going to call my band Courtney Love's Vagina.
No, come on. Nobody will listen to it.
Are you kidding? They will love it.
No, nobody likes her.
And that's why they'll love it. Because it'll be guys.
Oh, okay.
Called Courtney Love's Vagina.
That's how guys will take it.
I saw this band one time in the 90s. Speaking of the 90s, there was a band one time. They were another kind of heavy rock band that was being shunned. So my band, and the Axis Y, and this band, I wish I could remember their name, all played this show at Sebastiano's in Altoona. And this band, I do not remember the name, but they had this song dedicated to Alanis Morissette because I hated Alanis Morissette. And all I remember was the chorus was, Alanis, won't you go down on us? Alanis, won't you go down on us? I know, I wish I knew who these guys were, but whoever you are, if you're listening, man, like me and the other guys in that band and the other band that opened up for you guys that night, we just walked around for weeks and weeks going, Alanis, won't you go down on us? It was... yeah, anyway, so I digress. Anyways, we're talking about rock urban legends. What do you got next, Lil EV6?
I have the Ohio Players Killed a Woman.
Yes, I heard about this. There's some. It's on the Roller Coaster of Love, right?
Yes.
Which is in the Beavis and Butthead movie, by the way.
Yes, it is. It's a great song. Actually, I just listened to it on the way home from work.
Roller Coaster of Love.
Y'all know the song, I hope.
Well, the Chili Peppers did a...
Yeah, they did a cover.
Yeah. Speaking of the 90s.
But apparently you can hear a woman screaming just before the second verse in the song. People thought it was their cover model from their Honey album. being stabbed to death or being burned by heated honey. This is what people thought. The scream was just supposed to be an effect to recreate being on a roller coaster, which makes a lot of sense to me. And you know what? I couldn't even hear the scream when I listened to it earlier. But it's not a woman at all. It's the keyboardist, Billy Beck. The model, Esther Corday, is alive and well, actually. She's not dead. She wasn't stabbed. She wasn't burned. Silly people. Again.
Do you have the thing about Marilyn Manson
I
taking
don't.
out the rib?
No, but you can bring it up if you want. I don't have that on here.
Or the one about Marilyn Manson being the guy from the Wonder
Wonder
Years?
Years, I don't have that one on here
Yeah,
either.
there was this thing that's going around that he was the guy on the Wonder Years. And that kid looks like Marilyn Manson Jr.
He does.
He
Paul,
really does.
Paul from the Wonder Years.
But
I
it's
used to
not.
watch that show all the time.
It's not. It's not him. So what do you got next?
My next
Do you
one-
have any urban legends that are true?
I mean, half truths. Yes, I have one.
Okay, let's give me one that's true, because I know there's some that are true.
Actually, I have two true ones.
Okay, give us a true one.
Okay, so one of my true ones is Guns N' Roses and the drummer's lady.
The drummer's what?
The drummer's woman.
The drummer is a woman.
The drummer's female. Not the drummer is a female. You know what I mean. Rocket Queen. Anyway, while recording Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses singer Axl Rose brought Steven Adler's, the drummer, then girlfriend Adriana Smith, to the studio. The two engaged in some sexual playtime. And it was captured on the recording during the session for the track Rocket Queen. I'm sure you've all know the song I'm talking about. Many people saw it, and nobody involved with it ever did anything but confirm that it happened. Adriana later came to regret the incident before coming to terms with her weird claim to fame. But yes, the orgasm happening on Rocket Queen is legit.
Wow.
From Steven Adler's girlfriend.
Do you have
doing Guns N' Roses lead singer Axl Rose?
Do you have the story about Love to Love You, Baby?
No. What is that even?
The story goes that Donna Summer sang Love to Love You, Baby, and was literally having orgasms, and it's like 7 minutes of her having orgasms.
That's weird. No, I don't know that story.
Do you have the In the Air Tonight story?
Yes, I do have that.
Okay, why don't you tell that story?
That's a long one, but yes. This is actually one of the more well-known ones. So the song In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins was supposed to be, or what people thought was, he witnessed a man drowning while another man stood on the beach watching him drown. The story goes further with Collins premiering the song at a concert, having sent the man who watched the victim drown tickets to the show so he could, they supposedly put a spotlight on him, called him out, dedicating the song to him, and later this man goes home and kills himself. Anyway, that never happened.
No. The song is about at Face Value was the name of that album?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And that entire album is about the breakup of his marriage.
Yeah.
And that song is about some stuff, nasty stuff that went down between him and his now ex-wife.
Yeah. And how could it ever happen anyway? I mean, how would he even know who this guy was without, saying, why the fuck are you letting this guy drown?
Instead of why invite him to the show? Why don't you call the police?
Yeah. So
they got some version of 911 in England. I'm sure they do.
Yeah. Well, it also has a couple different versions too. Like Phil was witnessing rape, or he tried to prevent the drowning, or what have you. But none of that.
Do you have the thing about Keith Richards snorting his dad?
No, but I know that one.
Keith Richards could pretty much do anything, any kind of outrageous stunt that involves ingesting a foreign or illicit object of some kind, and people would believe it. So, Motley Crue, I know those of you who saw The Dirt think that Motley Crue and Ozzy invented this. No.
You think you're the first.
No, you silly people.
Nobody's ever the
There's
first.
a little guy named Keith Richards who's probably 700 years old now, but did
it 701 this year.
Every kind of whacked out drug thing, perverted thing you can think of, Keith Richards
He's already done it.
He's done it.
Years ago.
So, nobody's going to catch up to him. But, so in 2007, after Keith Richards said that he snorted his father's ashes after he was cremated, not long thereafter, Richards denied it, saying that it was merely joking. However, apparently there was a little truth to the story. In 2010, Richard stated in his autobiography, Life, that he acted on impulse in an otherwise innocent situation involving the ashes. The truth of the matter is that after having Dad's ashes in a black box for 6 years, because I really couldn't bring myself to scatter him to the winds, I finally planted a sturdy English oak to spread him around. As I took the lid off the box, a fine spray of ashes blew out on the table. I couldn't just brush them off, so I wiped them. So I wiped my finger over and snorted the residue. So there is some truth to it. So it's not like he was like, let's do a line with my dad, So that is something that's been going around for a long time. And those of you that know and love Keith, as he's known, it's an absolutely hilarious story. What do you got there, Lil?
So Debbie Harry and Ted Bundy.
Debbie Bundy and Terry Hill.
Yes.
Ted Hill. Okay, sorry.
According to Debbie, she was a potential victim of the serial killer Ted Bundy in New York City. He kidnapped her early in the 70s when she was trying to hail a cab and was held hostage in his car, narrowly escaping with her life. In reality, she did actually get kidnapped and was held hostage for a bit, but it couldn't have been Ted because Ted was never in New York City during the time of his killing spree, so he couldn't have killed her or anyone, or captured her or anyone else in New York City at that time. But that's an interesting story. I didn't know that one until I was reading some things today.
Wow.
Like, that's kind of a strange thing.
We were talking about this. We're gonna go to another song here in a second, but we were talking about this at rehearsal the other night, and Rancor just, what's Rancor doing?
It pooped
Rancor
itself.
Pooped itself on me. Charlie Manson.
This is my favorite one.
Did you have this? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can.
Well, go. So you talk
the
about
Beatles,
it,
the Beach Boys,
and then we're gonna go to a song. I didn't want to step on. Didn't realize he had. Go ahead.
If you want to talk about
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So Charles Manson wrote a song for the Beach Boys. This one's actually true. Before he became a psycho killer that we know him as and love him.
We know and love this
today.
Before he became the serial killer that we all know and love.
He was just a struggling.
Unless your name's Sharon Tate. We good.
Right. He was just a struggling songwriter like any other guy. In 1968, Dennis Wilson and him met. Oh, actually, Dennis Wilson met two women of the Manson family, picking them up while they were hitchhiking. Thus, he was able to meet Manson. They became friends, and Manson wrote a song called "Cease to Exist." Wilson really liked the song, rewrote the lyrics, and titled it "Never Learn Not to Love." Of course, Manson was pissed off. I'd be mad. I don't know. There are several accounts of what happened when the psycho confronted Wilson. Eventually, he was out of the Beach Boys' life forever. He went on to bigger and better things, as you know, being one of the most notorious killers in history. In documentaries that I've read, and this is just a little sort of added note, Brian Wilson lived in the house that Sharon Tate eventually moved into.
What was the intended target? Was, I believe, the publisher, and he told them kill everybody in the house, and they went there. And was that Laurel Canyon?
Yes,
it was up in Laurel Canyon, and that's where a lot of musicians and producers and people like that lived, and they would rent each other's houses and stuff like that. And it just so happened they weren't in that house. Tate and her people, her family were there, and well, as they say, the rest is
tragic.
history.
And there it was.
Yeah. And boom goes the dynamite. Speaking of dynamite going boom, this is Royal Honey, Dirty Romance on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. Pittsburgh's own Royal Honey, Dirty Romance. And do you guys want to get a little Royal Honey for yourselves? Do you now? You can get a little Royal Honey at facebook.com/Royal Honey. Great band. Just love it. Vicious rock and roll in your face, a la the Faces. You know that the kind of like the Faces meet the Ramones. It's got that kind of punk kind of edge to it. So we're gonna do some shout outs. We're gonna throw some shout outs at some of the folks out there that are chiming in. But real quick, before we do that, we mentioned earlier in the show about this documentary supposedly narrated by George Harrison. It's called Paul McCartney Really Is Dead, The Last Testament of George Harrison. And just Google it. You guys can find it. It was released in 2010. about an hour and a half long. It's weird and creepy,
It's the Beatles.
but kind of fun too. So check it out. Okay, so we got some fans chiming in. We have questions. What are they saying out there, Lil?
All right, so our watchers are Charlie Doyle and Chris Thunderwolf, of course. We have the newbie Betty watching as well. Mark Silverstein. Atomic Cowboy Productions is watching. Hey, Dino, what's up? I'm trying to find somebody trying to talk about the actual topic. Amy Pittsburgh, Kaylee Levy's watching. Stanley Leonard Clayton, Jerry Johnson, Tom Proctor, like strawberries. I don't know why or what that has to do with anything.
Strawberries.
Snowdy Heemskirk is watching, of course.
Snowdy Heemskirk. I'm gonna call my band Snowdy Heemskirk.
And then Jerry Johnson said it sounds very much like New York Dolls. And
there you are.
That's all we got. Boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for everybody watching. There was a little confusion about what the topic was about, but we're not going to read all those comments.
Yeah. Rock legends, Jimi Hendrix.
And Jerry Johnson wants to know when you're making your hard rock debut. Bro.
Yeah. Yep, we're playing hard rock tomorrow night, Jerry. Better get your shit together. So, yeah, rock urban legends, not rock legends. We're just about done here. We're gonna hop over and do our after party. And if you would like to do, that's where the really dirty jokes.
That's where the cool kids are.
That's where all the cool kids are hanging out. So if you want some drunk sex, you want to go to LouLombardiRocks.com, click the little link, and request entry into the inner sanctum, the inner circle. And so we're going to be hopping over there in the next 15 minutes or so. So you can do that at LouLombardiRocks.com. Shout out to Rock Rage Radio for being an affiliate, as well as Classic 92.3. Guys, rock. Thank you so much. Okay, Lou, you want to throw a few more at us, a few more parting shots, if you will.
I got a couple.
Sure.
So Aerosmith's Premonition of Death.
Yeah, what is that about? I read about it, but I read the description. I didn't read the whole thing.
So there have been various stories about Aerosmith almost buying the plane that later crashed, nearly killed everyone in Skinnerd. The actual story is less interesting, but it was based on good human resources. Right before the infamous crash, Aerosmith's assistant chief of flight operations checked out the very plane and deemed it unworthy of the boys from Boston. So he actually either saw the crew drinking and he didn't like it, or he actually saw the engine catch fire. The story changes depending on who's talking. But Skinnerd did not have the same luck and spent years with that loss. But note to band, get a chief of flight operations officer, and maybe you won't die in a plane crash later on in life.
Wow. An urban legend around the Skinnerd crash. Have you guys heard about the Betamax guillotine?
No.
Supposedly, Ronnie Van Zant was found decapitated.
Oh, gross.
And there was a Betamax machine on a shelf. And they think that during the impact, the Betamax machine caught him in the back of the head and just chopped his head off. Gross. And so the band, the Drive-By Truckers, did a concept album, did a concept album about Leonard Skinnerd. It's called the Southern Rock Opera, and they actually have a song called Betamax Guillotine.
I mean, that's legit though. That sounds like a great song title.
It's the same. That sounds like a good name for a band too.
Or that.
It's a little wordy for a band, but yeah, I'm a huge Drive-By Truckers fan. If you get a chance, listen to Southern Rock Opera. It's a double disc thing. It's all, and it is. If you love Skinner, these guys are like, they're like Southern punk rockers who loved Skinnerd, which is a weird thing.
That's cool.
And so that's their whole thing.
That.
They're kind of like, alt country, but they love Skinnerd. 3 lead guitars, like they're very Skinnerd influenced kind of band, but still have that sort of like punk kind of attitude. But anyway, so that's an urban legend. I don't know if it's really true, but on the liner notes of the album, they relate the story that there's this urban legend about the Betamax guillotine. Interesting. So here you go. Like so what else you got, Lo?
I also have Mama Cass choked on a ham sandwich.
No one's getting fat except Mama Cass. So what's up?
Anyway, half-eaten ham sandwich was found.
Okay, wait a minute. Before you do that,
Mama Cass.
A lot of people are young and do not know who Mama Cass is. So explain to the youngsters.
The mamas and the papas. Do we know who that is?
All the leaves are all.
It's a very old.
Leaves are brown.
To you guys, it's a very old band. Very trippy kind of music. Great though.
California Dreamin' was their big.
That's a great song, by the way. Anyway, she was a very large woman.
And the one guy in the band had sex with his daughters. But go ahead.
Woo! There we go. Anyway, a half-eaten ham sandwich was found by the body of her in a London flat, leading to the media, surprise, of course, to declare the horrible rumor. There was never any truth to it. Her death was from a heart failure due to the stress she put on herself due to extreme fasting while trying to lose weight quickly. Like most rumors, the ham sandwich became accepted as fact.
You know, I've heard Michelle Phillips talk about this, not about this particular thing, but about Mama Cass, saying that she never had any problem getting boyfriends.
She was a cute lady.
She got laid as much as anybody else in that band did. So that goes to show that, like, people want to get with famous people. It doesn't matter. Good looking, not good looking, big, little, short, whatever you are. If you got a little cachet going on like that, man, people want to bang it. They want a piece of that. So that doesn't matter. There's somebody for everybody.
Sure.
Of course. So I mean, like Oprah gets boyfriends, surprisingly.
Well,
but go ahead. So what else you got? We're gonna do. Let's do. What time is it? Let's do 2 more.
I can do 2 more. So you did talk about Keith Richards a little bit. I got another one here on my list. Keith Richards gets his blood changed. So it's a very popular rumor that the guitarist does this to change. He changes out his blood due to all the drinking and partying that he does.
This is a matter, of course. You know, once a year goes in.
Yeah, goes and gets refreshed. It's just, and this is why he's lived so long. But he never actually had his entire blood supply swapped out. He did have a procedure to clean toxins out of his blood in an effort to kick heroin. The blood replacement story was a joke he told because he got sick of talking about his attempts to clean up. So, and also there's no actual way you can change all of your blood supply. So that's not a thing.
There's no way. You're always gonna have some of your blood.
Medically,
it's just not a thing.
You would just die.
Yeah. You can't you can't sit there with, we take all the blood out, like clean all the veins out and scrub it out with Clorox or something, and then put new blood. You would be dead by the time it happened. Here's a couple. Roy Orbison, guys, was not blind.
I like that one.
I thought he was blind.
I get why.
Because he never was seen without sunglasses.
He always wears the sunglasses.
So it led to the rumor that he was blind. He was never blind. This is interesting too. We were going to do a.
I saw that one and I left it alone.
The 27 Club is not actually a thing. Rock's most exclusive club isn't on the Sunset Strip. It's made of musicians died at the age of 27. Foremost are Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, all who succumbed to drugs and or alcohol around the same time, same age. This coincidence led to the media dreaming up a mythical 27 Club where rock stars of that age go when their time is up. Later, Kurt Cobain would take his own life at the same age, combined with the mother's grief. Joining that stupid club revived the mythos of the 27 Club, while the true many rock legends, including Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin. It sounds like an Amy Winehouse. The members. It sounds like a thing. You only named like the 7 of the biggest rock stars of all time. These rockers didn't die because they were 27. They died because of drugs and alcohol. Well, duh. No, it still could be a thing.
It could be a thing.
It still could be a thing.
I mean, we don't know. That's one you can't technically answer. I don't think. Jerry Johnson, did Elvis die on the toilet?
Yes. He was trying to pass the biggest double bean burrito in the history of double bean burritos. And
I mean, I don't know about you. I don't think I could pass that. Just saying.
It was he was trying to pass some monster, mud pocket.
Such an ass.
and he was dropping the Cosby Kids off at the pool.
Wow.
He was taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
He was bombing Tokyo. Wow. Are you happy?
And oh yeah. Did you guys hear about this? We were talking again. We were talking about this in rehearsal a couple weeks ago. That the song "Taking Care of Business," like they were trying to figure out what to do, and the pizza guy came in and said he needs piano. You know, so you know, the band scenario where they were working on the song, something's missing. This is a song "Taking Care of Business" by Bachman Turnover. I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're working on a song, and they felt that something was missing, and something missing is a piano part. Some versions have the pizza guy actually playing the iconic barrel house piano part on the song. Others have him just sketching out the chords on a pizza box for someone else to play. Then he vanished, leaving the band to find him and give him a check. Neither version is true. Though both are espoused by various members of the band, in reality, the piano player on the song was a professional musician who was in the same studio as BTO, recording commercial jingles. The band's engineer asked him to play piano on the song, and the musician Norman Durkee did so, banging out one take of a boogie woogie that became the best-known part of the song. Durkee claims pizza had nothing to do with it. Durkee, who died in 2014, claimed he was paid $90 for the take. And the rest, as they say, is history. And Judas Priest did not tell people to kill themselves.
And the Beatles did not get high with Queen Elizabeth.
Right.
They just smoked cigarettes in back before they met her.
That's right.
Just saying. But they might have gotten high with Queen Elizabeth. I think she would get down.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. And no, he wouldn't have passed a peanut butter sandwich. That shit's going to stick the whole way down. Sorry.
That's probably what it was. It was all on damn peanut butter and
Clogged them up.
Fried. Although that does sound kind of good.
I don't do
like
banana, though.
You don't like banana?
Mm-mm.
That sounds kind of good. Even just a fried. If you would, you know how they deep fry everything now.
Yeah, I think it would be delicious.
You could deep fry a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh,
they fry butter. Did you know that? Gross.
I am so down with that.
I like fried Oreos. But anyway,
I know.
Those are like the fucking bomb.
Ooh,
I could kill me some fried Oreos.
Oktoberfest. I can't wait. It's coming to Canonsburg in a couple
Go to Kennywood.
I can't wait. Not Kennywood, Schmennywood.
I like Kennywood.
It's too expensive. I can't ride anything.
Why?
Because I'm too tall. I'm not tall enough.
No, you're tall.
All that stuff just turns my stomach. I throw up on those things. I can't ride them. I'm not.
I can't wait to ride the steel curtain.
I'm not an amusement park kind of guy.
That sounds dirty.
Steel curtain. Isn't steel curtain a Steeler?
It's a group of them, but that's the new roller coaster. Kennywood. I just thought that might be not a good idea.
She wants to ride all the Steelers. Okay, on that happy note, you've been listening to Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. Our website is LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Check us out on Rock Rage Radio on Monday nights. Check us out on Classic 92.3 as well. If you would like to continue to hang out, you want the party to keep on going, jump over to LouLombardiRocks.com. We're going to go in and party in our private backstage pass area, the green room, if you will.
My velvet rope.
All kind of shit is going to happen. If you don't go, you're going to be... And many times... that show gets like even more.
It's out of control.
Yeah, like more people are chiming in. It's even crazier than what goes on here. So you definitely want to check that out at LouLombardiRocks.com. We are going to get out of here. I want to thank the bands we had tonight. We just played some Royal Honey. Facebook.com/Royal Honey. We had Transcendence, the Pittsburgh Transcendence, and that's Transcendence412.bandcamp.com. We opened the show with Bad Marriage. Go to badmarriagemusic.com. And we're going to get out of here tonight with a track off of my, it's just my latest single. It's called Where Have All the Acid Queens Gone? Speaking of the 27 Club. Lily, any parting thoughts before we get out of here tonight?
Sure. Check out my show Thursday nights, Hot Licks with Lily 6 on Rock Rage Radio, free app, or just go to the website, rockrageradio.com. Oh, I got business cards, so if I see you guys, get one off me.
Instead of saying ain't none your business,
it
is your business.
There's all the business now.
It's all the business. She's all up in your business. All right, guys. Where have all the acid queens gone? I'll catch you guys all in the next Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.